Hello all, I'm Dr. Soumya, consultant 49 Fertility Center, Rajahmundry branch. Today I just wanted to discuss a few points on fibroid and how it is causing infertility. Now, what a fibroid is? It is a benign tumor of the uterine smooth muscle. Is it a common condition or a rare? It is a very common condition in reproductive age group women. Then, what these fibroids will be doing? How to identify them? As these fibroids are more prevalent, it is very much asymptomatic. That means most of the women will be harboring the fibroids, but still they will not have any symptoms. Now, if at all they are showing some symptoms, I just wanted to brief you about what are the most common symptoms in a fibroid uterus. The most common symptom is hemorrhage or heavy bleeding during the menstrual cycles. Heavy bleeding in the sense, if the woman is having regular cycles, she will be regular cycles with limited number of days of flow, about 3 to 5 days. Then the duration, then the number of pads used by the woman, or she might be passing more clots during her menstrual cycle. The other form of the heavy flow is number of days of bleeding, that is the duration of the cycle will be prolonged. This is the other symptom. Apart from menorrhagia, the other symptoms are, as we have already discussed, infertility. Women with few types of fibroids, which I will be discussing later on in this video, these fibroids might cause infertility also. Which kind of fibroids and where it is and all we will be discussing later on. Next, the other symptom is pressure symptoms. Pressure symptoms in the sense, if at all the fibroid is very much large, the patient or the woman may be having frequency of urination, or there is bloating sensation or mass in the abdomen kind of feel might be there. These are the most common symptoms which are associated with the fibroid uterus. Now, coming to next question is, does all women with fibroids cause infertility? No, the fibroids, few fibroids only will cause infertility, or the women might be landing up in infertility only in few situations. Now we will understand what those situations are. First of all, depending upon the size, location and number of fibroids, their symptoms or the consequences might be there. Few fibroids which may be small in size, but still they may cause severe symptoms like infertility. Few fibroids might be larger in size, but due to their site, that is location, they might not pose any symptom. Now let us classify fibroids into three broad categories, saying submucous fibroids, intramural fibroids and subserous fibroids. The main culprit here is submucous as well as intramural fibroids. Now, let us understand what these submucous fibroids are. The uterus is having a cavity which is known as the uterine cavity, which will be harboring the embryo, or the implantation of the embryo will be happening in the endometrial cavity. So, this is a very important part for the fertility. If in case this fibroid is situated submucosally and which is interrupting with the implantation, will land the patient into infertility. Or else, if there is some intramural fibroid which is even abutting the cavity, or which is distorting the endometrial cavity, uterine cavity, then also the patient might land up in infertility. The other condition is depending upon the location. A fibroid might be there of moderate size, but if it is located in the cornal end of the fibroid where the fallopian tubes are attached to the uterus. Tubes are the important structures where the embryo is being formed. Hence, if at all the tube is being obstructed by the cornal fibroids, then obviously the sperm and the egg, there will be difficulty of the sperm and egg to fertilize. That is the reason the patient might be landing up into infertility. Now, these are the different types of fibroids which cause infertility. Now, let us know, does all fibroids need surgery or not? Again, the answer is no. Only the fibroids which are submucous or the fibroids which are causing recurrent pregnancy loss. That is, few women will be asymptomatic. Still, they will be having recurrent pregnancy losses, and whenever she is undergoing an ultrasonography, then they will be finding that there is some fibroid located in the uterus, myometrial fibroids or submucosal fibroids. Then also they should undergo surgery. Or else, if there are small submucosal fibroids which are impeding the cavity or located at the site of the implantation, these also need to go for surgery. Sometimes there might be huge fibroids which should be removed even if they are not distorting the cavity. Why? Because the blood supply to the uterus or the endometrium will be changing or alteration in the blood supply. Sometimes the fibroids might be large, subserosal, pelvic architectural changes might be there because of these huge fibroids. These fibroids also are to be removed. Women who are undergoing infertility procedures like IVF, etc., might need oocyte retrieval. That is the egg pickup or oocyte pickup. For that procedure, the consultant should be accessing the ovaries to retrieve the oocytes. If at all there is difficult oocyte retrieval, those patients also need to undergo surgery first, myomectomy first, then only go for oocyte retrieval. These are the scenarios where the patient need to go for surgery. Now, what are the approaches towards these surgeries? First is the hysteroscopic surgery. Second one is laparoscopic surgery. Depending upon the, again, location, site and size, we can either do the procedure hysteroscopically, where a camera is inserted through the vagina into the uterus. Then whatever the fibroid, the usually smaller fibroids, submucosal fibroids, we will be operating hysteroscopically. If at all there are like subserosal fibroids or intramural fibroids, then laparoscopic access is a better route to operate these fibroids. Open technique is any which ways there to remove the fibroids. I think I'm clear about fibroids, infertility, symptoms, and what to be done for the fibroids. Thank you.